Reduced volatility comes at a price for dairy farmers. I'm Bill Baker, and this is Dairyline, an integral part of dairy business communications. And that's according to a study that IDFA's Jerry Slominski will tell us about in our monthly Processor's Perspective next.
Feeding cottonseed in your dairy ration has never been more important. Feeding cottonseed in your dairy ration has never been easier. Yes, cottonseed now has more than great energy and protein benefits for your cows. Cottonseed now has a great website for producers. Introducing the Cottonseed Marketplace. Give it a click and follow the instructions, and you'll soon have the best seed at the best price.
To get the most out of your feed, just add cottonseed.
Find it online and save some time at wholecottonseed.com.
Eureka!
What is it?
The missing link. How to turn my healthy weaned calves into more profitable cows.
But what is it?
AmpliCalf Grower. Calves' rumens aren't ready for a high forage diet after weaning. They need accessible nutrients for optimal growth and rumen development. It's the missing link between a healthy calf and a high-producing cow.
So it's the link between wise calf feeding and more profit.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Contact your Land O'Lakes Purina feed dealer today and learn how your calves can grow more after weaning and achieve more optimal rumen development with AmpliCalf Grower.
Jerry, there's a new study out from a pair of dairy economists that you say dairy producers may want to read. Tell us about it.
It was conducted by Charles Nicholson of Cal Poly and Mark Stevenson of the University of Wisconsin, who did the economic modeling for the original Foundation for the Future plan. Nicholson and Stevenson have looked at the latest proposal introduced in Congress by Representative Peterson as the Dairy Security Act and found that it will have some very eye-opening results. You can find the report by going to the University of Wisconsin website at dairy.wisc.edu. The economists say that one of their original findings remains consistent. Milk price volatility would be substantially reduced under the proposed plan. But that reduced volatility comes at a price for dairy farmers: significantly lower farm milk prices and lower net farm income across all sizes of dairy farms. You heard that right. The Foundation for the Future, according to a University of Wisconsin study, will result in lower farm net income across all sizes of dairy farms. This new look suggests the reforms could lower U.S. all-milk price by 92 cents per hundredweight and lower cumulative net farm operating income by 32 to 48%. According to a press release last week from the Professional Dairy Business Association in Wisconsin, one of the authors also concluded that the proposal would cause small farms to leave the dairy industry at a faster pace than without the program. National Milk Producer Federation's response has been to say that the economic models are not reality, but NMPF sure liked the economic modeling conducted by the same Nicholson and Stevenson when they were selling the Foundation for the Future program a year ago. That study can still be found on NMPF's website. In our view, the dairy industry needs more open markets and less government interference and regulation and better risk management tools for dairy farmers. But let me repeat, the report can be found at dairy.wisc.edu.
Jerry Slominski, IDFA Senior Vice President. The Processor's Perspective is brought to you by the International Dairy Foods Association.
The latest dairy news.
Gary, you're in Washington this week trying to gain support for the proposed dairy policy.
Market information.
The June Class 3 contract finished up 24.
Perspective.
I think our proposal addresses the major issue.
Corn that's being exported to China, and there's other countries as well.
But the experts.
Cows tend to stand more under heat stress because they try to radiate the heat away.
All your dairy news and market information in one place. America's Dairy Line. Weekdays on this radio station and at dairyline.com.
It's time now for the Downs O'Neill Dairy Futures Report.
Yesterday in the dairy markets, the Jan and June pack was up 2 to 16.56. The December Class 3 contract was up 12 to 17.63. February contract was up 6 to 16.50. And the April contract is up 2 to 16.50.
For all of your hedging needs, call the Downs O'Neill Dairy Brokers at 1-800-231-3089. CME block cheese traded up 3/4 cent yesterday to $1.78, while the barrels gained 1 1/4 cents, also at $1.78. One carload traded in blocks, while the barrel saw 6 trades. And butter was unchanged at $1.88 yesterday with no activity. Supporters of raw milk were out in force yesterday at the FDA headquarters in Maryland, urging the FDA to ban the trafficking of raw milk sales across state lines. National Milk's Chris Galen will tell us why lifting that ban would be a bad idea tomorrow. I'm Bill Baker. Listen for that here on
America's Dairy
Time now for Your Bottom Line, brought to you by the PDPW, Dairy's Professional Development Organization, with Executive Director Shelley Mayer, who has a preview of the Dairy Policy Summit scheduled for next Wednesday.
Well, the details of the Dairy Policy Summit, where dairy producers came together and said there's three big issues that they wanted covered, and that was the discussion on immigration. The second one really on food safety, focusing mostly on beef that's being produced by dairy cows, and the third issue, milk pricing reform. They wanted an opportunity to hear from experts and voices from around the country, and they wanted an opportunity to engage. So that's what the Dairy Policy Summit's for. It's for dairy producers from all over the country and other leaders in the dairy industry to come together and to really have dialogue about those three critical issues.
Tell us about the first session that addresses milk price reform. Who's included in that?
As this issue continues to evolve and certainly the discussions get closer to maybe developing policy, we've brought in a representative from National Milk, another one from a dairy producer organization that's mostly central in the West Coast, as well as VPAC, which is from the East Coast. So really a discussion that we felt would bring some different dynamics and hopefully allow us to ask questions pertaining to the direction of milk pricing reform that fellow producers from different parts of the country would want, then allow a lot of time for questions so we can ask, how does it impact our international sales? How will it impact size of operations? What will be the impact on even the milk-to-feed ratio? How do we control supply and demand? A lot of different things that we've heard bits and pieces of the milk pricing discussion will be talked about during that session.
Another session, you get down to the meat of the matter with dairy beef safety.
Well, there we're going to be a group of producers who are really going to be talking about what can we do to ensure that the products that we're putting out there are of the purest quality. And with increased testing and what we're learning about bacteria that are resistant to some of the current antibiotics, as well as even what's going on over in Europe as far as wanting to ban certain practices in antibiotics, it's time as an industry that we come together, all of us, producers, retailers, other leaders in the food system, really come together and focus on how can we continue to increase research and develop new products that will help us in the animal health as well as human health side. But then as dairy producers, what is our lion's share of the responsibility, ensuring that when cows get on that truck and go into the meat industry, that those products are completely free of any kind of residues. Looking at where we are today, where are we headed as an industry, and then what's our plan? There's been a group of producers, veterinarians that have been working very closely on how we can proactively, without more regulatory pressures, proactively lead this discussion. So it should be very dynamic. It will be new information, and it's one that everyone that's part of the dairy industry is going to want to be a part of.
As you mentioned before, immigration also will be taking center stage with another panel discussion. Tell us about that.
Well, the immigration one is really, really interesting from the standpoint that it seems like no one really knows if it's going to be a national discussion or if it's going to be state by state. And since nationally, we've really, as a country, not been able to get our hands around rural labor issues as well as immigration reform, it seems that there are states around our union that are trying to do their own thing. So we're bringing in someone from Utah as well as a representative from Georgia, varying perspectives on what their state's approach would be on this. Both of them are from the food sector, and we'll talk specifically about how this will have an impact on the dairy industry, as well as another organization that's been very active out in Washington to get more of a panoramic approach. And it seems that the dairy industry has some unique challenges when we talk about rural labor that maybe some of the other food partners don't. And we really just need to learn and gather some of what's happening around the country so that if you're in the West, the Midwest, the Northeast, the Southeast, wherever, I think the biggest question is going to be how will state rules and regulations or state legislation interact with if later on there becomes national legislation on immigration reform.
That's Executive Director Shelley Mayer. Your Bottom Line is brought to you by the PDPW, Dairy's Professional Development Organization. That's today's Dairy News. I'm Bill Baker, and this is
America's Dairy Line.